Okay. So today we are going to continue with the new chapter, which is input and output operation. Okay. Okay, still in the programming mode. So we already totally finished with the design. So now this is the next step, next phase in the uh, system development. Okay, after design, we are going to proceed with the development. Okay, so this is the development phase. Uh, Basically, we already covered maybe not brief. Actually, we already covered quite a lot last week on the part of input and output operation, which mostly on the output. Okay, output we already covered last week. Right. So this is what I asked you to do, and so you need to come up with a statement to print a floating point number. Okay. So the most accurate way to do this is by applying what we call as a conversion character modifier. Modifier. Okay, conversion character modifier. So this is a conversion, normal conversion character, kan? Okay, for example, if you want to print an integer, dengar kan saya cakap kan? Senyap ni. Risau cakap seorang-seorang ni.
Dengar.
Alright. Okay, for example, if you want to print a normal integer, so there's no problem with it. So we just apply the conversion character. But let's say if it is involving floating point number, okay, with a specific decimal point that we need to put in our output. So we cannot simply put %f, okay, something like this. So %f, hopefully everyone still remember why we need %d, why we need %f, kan? The conversion character representing the types of data that we want to print. So if we want to print integer, okay, how do we know that this is integer? By referring to the declaration, kan? If you declare a variable as int, meaning that number, okay, this variable, the number variable is the type of integer. So if you want to print integer number, so we need to apply conversion character %d, right? For a variable, the types of float, to print it, we need to apply, okay, float, floating point number, decimal point number. So we need to apply %f. Okay. So if you just put it %f like this, so you will get a very long decimal point lah. Okay, 0.2000. Okay, if you can see from my output over here. So some of you use %g. So is it correct? %g. Again, I check some of the answers. Some of you use %g, which is, if you run it, you won't get any error. Okay, you still get the 0.2 value, which is similar. However, if let's say the question asks you to print the value into floating two decimal point number, kan? So it is hard for you to control it macam mana nak guna kan. So avoid using %G, instead just use the %F accompany with 0.2. 0.2 meaning that you want to print 2 decimal point number. So the output is going to be 0.20 because we put 2 decimal point number. If you want to have only one point something, okay, 0.2 without 0.20, so you have to put 0.1F lah. Alright, so this one is much more simpler and easy to control the outputs, okay, compared to if you use %G kan. So susah sikit nak control lah. Okay class, so this is last week punya exercise kan. Very simple kan. Ada exercise lain ke? Tak ada kan. Okay, so let's just continue. Okay, with the output first. Okay, so we are going to finish on the output first. We already look at two types of variable, which is integer and float. Okay, decimal is quite similar with double is quite similar with float. So you can either use float or double for floating point number, decimal point number. It's up to you. Most of the time we use float, but you can also use double. So the next types of variable that you want to look at is character. Okay, for example, we have a variable called gender. Gender. Okay. Gender, and the value is either F for female and M for male. Okay, we use the short form. Okay, F or M, the value for gender. So to use gender, okay, let's look at the flowchart first. So we are going to use flowchart before we start program, so that hopefully everyone can clearly see how we translate the design into a program. So we have gender, and the value is going to be M for male. So if you still remember how we want to put initial value for character, so it is different compared to numeric. Numeric, we just put the number straight away. But for character value, you must accompany the value, which is the M, with single quote. Okay, so you cannot put it straight away M is the end. So it is wrong. Technically it is wrong. So put the single quote over there. So similarly, during the coding, if you want to put M, so please don't put it simply M like that. So it's going to be wrong. Okay, it will the compiler will detect this as a variable, not a value, not a character value. Okay. Okay, so put single quote over there. So the color is going to be changed, meaning that this is now a character value, not a variable. And put a semicolon. Okay, if you notice, everything inside of main body, okay, which is over here, okay, inside of the curly bracket, opening and closing, everything inside the main body, most of the time we are going to end the statement with semicolon. Bukan most of the time. Every time we ended a statement, we must put semicolon. Okay, every single time. So if you forget to put this, you will get error. You will get error. Okay, so are we done yet? No, kan? Because if you build this, okay, if you build, you will get error. Gender undeclared. So every time you want to use a variable Okay, for example, in our design, we have one, two, three variable kan, number two, and gender. So all these three variable, before we can use it, you must declare it first. So how to declare? Taklah depan tu kan. So what is the type of variable gender? It is a character. So how to declare character? By putting char in front of the character variable. Boleh eh? So let's do this together. So you can also follow my codes over here, so that you can uh, see the difference when we change these codes later on. Boleh lah.
Boleh, sir.
Okay, again, let's say if we have multiple error in our program kan. Let's say this one, the first error is undeclared gender. Next we have uh, missing semicolon. So what will happen is when you build your program, you will see the listing of the error lah. Okay, over here. So the red one is the error. So there are two error. If you want to go specifically to the second error, so just click on the second line of error. Okay, the second red line. If you want to go to the first one, okay, just point your cursor and click on the first error. So that's how you detect error. So some student until the end of the semester still don't know how to solve the error kan. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, point to the specific error. Again, if it is warning, you can ignore kan, warning kan. If it is error, you need to resolve. So currently we have two error and zero warning, so no warning. Okay, resolve the error first before you proceed. Ada error yang lain? Ada error? Tak ada kan?
Ada, sir.
Alright, so build, and next is we are going to print. So how to print? How to print a character? So first we apply the printf function kan, printf kan, function kan, function, and then we use percent apa for character, percent c. Okay. Okay, some of you also get confused where to put the comma kan, before we type down the variable name that we want to print. So please don't put comma inside of the double quote ni kan. Put the comma after you put the double quote. Okay, comma, make sure it is in red color And then gender. So we want to print gender. Okay. Try. Okay. Okay, so for input and output, you may put text. Okay, you may accompany the conversion character with text, dummy text. We call it as dummy text, so that when user look at the output, they will know what's the meaning of this data kan. For example, 10 kan. So when your user see 10 kan, so they will wonder what is 10 kan, what is 11.2, what is M, what is this value kan, what is this value representing for kan. So to make this more user-friendly system, so you need to tell your user what is this specific data meaning kan. Okay, so for that you need to put what we call as dummy data lah kan, dummy value lah. For example, percent C is for gender kan. So as we learn last week, you can put anything, okay, anything within the printf apa ni tadi, double quote ni kan. Anything that you put this within the double quote will be considered as a dummy data kan, except for two things. First is the conversion character, okay, which is %D, %C, %F. If you put it in between the double quote, so the compiler will detect this as a conversion character, okay, which then will reflect on the variable and specific variable. Okay, for example, if %D, it will search for variable integer kan. %F, it will search for variable floating point number. Okay, so that one is conversion character. Okay, the second one is the formatting. Okay, formatting character kan, apa nama dia ni? The formal name is, okay, if you look at the notes, okay, this one escape sequence. Okay, escape sequence, if you put it in between the printf double quote, it will brings a specific meaning. Okay, the one that we already use is /n. Okay, meaning that after you put /n, okay, the next output is going to be in new line kan. Hopefully everyone already test this ada kan, /n, new line. So /t meaning tab in between two output. Okay, if you, for example, you put, okay, you can test this, instead of you put /n, you change this to /t kan, /t. So look at the output, what's the difference? Okay, before you use /n, now you change it to /t, you will see that, okay, instead of printing the next output, which is number 2 in new line, now it give one tab before it print number 2. Okay, see the difference boleh nampak tak?
Nampak.
Okay, and then you can test the rest of the escape sequence. So this is very important in order for you to be able to properly formatting your output. Okay, so sometimes you need the question very specifically request you to print uh, certain output format. So you need to apply some of these escape sequence. Okay, so the second one is escape sequence. Okay, so there are only two important components in printf. First is conversion character. The second one is escape sequence. Okay, the rest is will be considered as dummy data kan. Okay, for example, this one let me change this to in order for you to tell your user this is a value for variable number kan, so you just put number lah in front of the conversion character and equal to %d. So this meaning what? This doesn't mean anything to the system. System will detect this as dummy data, okay, dummy value. But for the user will find it helpful because they will know that the following value actually is the value for variable number kan. Okay. So when you build and you run your program, now you will see that the output number equal to 10. So it is not standalone 10 anymore kan. It shows that 10 is a value of number. You get it, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you can proceed with this. So this is number 2. Okay, give help your user to know
Yes, sir.
what the system is about kan. So let's give some text to the output. Alright. Okay, ada error ke? Ada, if you got any error, you can share with the rest of the class. Let us resolve your error together. Ada error?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if no, then let us proceed with next types of variable, which is a string. Okay, so this is integer, is float, this is character. Next we have string, for example, name. Okay, name. Okay, and then we put a value to this variable. Okay, for example, we have name. Okay, so the value for string you must put in between the double quote. For example, name is Zafril. Right? So how we translate this into a program is okay, the same. Zafril and ended with semicolon. Okay, so don't forget to declare. So how is it different with single character? String is a combination of more than one character kan. So the difference is for a string, so you need to put the size for the variable. Okay, variable name, and then you must put a size. So what is size? Size. Okay, size for this variable. Okay, so put something like this. This is what we call benda ni. Okay, put this symbol. So inside of it, put the size for this variable. So let's say you want variable name to be able to store exactly 10 character. So maximum you can store 10 character. Maximum. So A, B, C, D, E, or Z, 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 10 times. Okay, 10 Z or 10 A, or the combination of A, B, C, but maximum is 10 character only. Okay, so that's the difference between single character and a string. So this is a string. Okay, how you call it a string variable. Boleh?
Boleh, sir.
Alright, so
Boleh, sir.
okay, good. Next is let's print this. Okay, you want to see the content of this variable. Okay, I'm putting slash n over here. It is either you put it here, okay, at the end of percent %c, or you can put it over here. So it gives the same meaning lah. Okay, new line. Okay, name. Conversion character for a string is %s. Okay, %s. And then put name. Over here, just put the variable name. Don't put the size. Size only applicable for a variable string during declaration. So what is declaration? Ni lah declaration. First time we use the variable, we need to declare the variable name. Inside of the operation for input and output, you doesn't have to put the size. Okay, just put the variable name. That's it. Right? Try. Okay, and look at the output.
Sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Kan yang name tu dia punya size 10 kan. So mean kalau the nama lebih daripada 10 dia tak akan display. Dia akan
Okay,
print.
good question. Good question. Okay, so 10. Okay, what happen if you exceed? Okay, the value exceed the size. So what will happen? Nah, ni nak tahu kan? Let us try kan. So 10 ni, it is including blank space. So let's say if my name is Zafir Rizal. So what is the value? What is the size of my name? Cuba kira. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Including blank space. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Including blank space, the size should be 12. So exceed. Betul kan ni? Okay, 12. So it is exceed by 2 lah. 2 kan, 10 kan. Maximum is 10. So what will happen? Test kan. So you will get what we call as, there's no error over here. However, you will get warning kan. As I said, most of the time we can ignore the warning. Okay, the one that we must resolve is error. But what happened is you will get this. Name is Zafrir R.I.Z. N, which is up until Z is the maximum size. ZN. 10. The rest is whatever it means, it doesn't give means to the system lah. Okay, so this is what we call as semantic error. Okay, syntax error you cannot run at all. Semantic error you can run, but you will get uh, apa tu? Wrong outputs for the system. Okay, the output is not the expected output the system should deliver. Something like this. So you need to properly design your system to and make sure that the correct size applied for all the string variable lah. Okay. So this is wrong. So what you can do is you can increase the value of name size. Okay, for example, put it 20. So it will cover my name lah. If my name is very long or your value is very long kan. Okay, so now it cover everything. Boleh? Any question?
No.
Rasa
Okay. Okay, let us proceed with inputs. So finish with the output. Okay, next is input. Input lah kan. So this is currently we are using a static value kan, based on the one that entered by you as a programmer kan. So most of the time we want our user to enter all this value kan, number. Okay, we are going to ask user enter number 2, enter your gender, enter your name. So user, most of the time user the one that have to enter all this value kan. So there's a part that system need to give the value to the variable. There's a part that user need to enter the value. Adalah, tak semuanya user perlu masukkan kan, tak semuanya sistem yang tentukan value tu kan, based on case kan, case by case lah. Okay, so let us delete everything kan. So delete all the value over here, then terminate with semicolon. Okay, so now we want user to enter the value, not the system. Macam ni kan. Try build, what happened? No error kan? Of course there's no error kan. Apa? Syntax wise it is not an error, but when you run, okay, you can try run it and you will see that okay, this one 0, 0.0, gender nothing, name nothing kan. So no value kan, no meaningful value over here because it is empty kan. Right, so now we want user to enter the value. So what does the flowchart should looks like? So instead of putting the initial value like this, so this is initialization. You use this symbol for initialization. What if the user need to enter all this value kan? So tak boleh guna ni. You cannot use this symbol. So what is the symbol for input class?
Parallelogram.
Parallelogram kan parallelogram ni. Okay, so it is similar with output. However, the wording kan, the choose of wording is important to differentiate between input and output process. So enter apa tadi, number. Let's use different symbol. Although if it is in a sequence kan, you can just put everything in one symbol. Enter number 2, apa lagi tadi? gender name. You can put it in a single symbol if the input is in sequence. There's no other process in between all these inputs. So you can put it in one single symbol like this. Okay, however, I'm going to use different symbol just that to make it clear lah. Kan kadang-kadang kamu confuse lah kan. Kejap guna single, kejap guna banyak simbol. Let's be consistent lah just for this example. So first enter number, then enter number 2. User lah enter kan. Then user need to enter the gender. And finally user need to enter their name. Okay, for inputs, then over here lah pin number, number 2, gender and name Nama lah. So how we translate this into a coding? Okay, first initialization remain over here. Sorry, not initialization, declaration. Okay, initialization is where you put a specific value during your declaration lah. Okay, like what we done earlier. We put number equal to what, gender equal to what, name equal to what. That one is initialization during declaration. If no value, then it is just a declaration. So declaration, leave it over there. Next, okay, print after we get the value kan. If you refer back to the flowchart, so after we get all the value from user, and then we print. So it should be below lah. Okay, input should come first. Okay, so input, the most important function for input is scanf function. Scanf. We get this function from this library, similar with printf function. So scanf. So this is the basic syntax for scanf. Okay, so similar with printf, you must put double quote. Boleh buat sama-sama ya. So this is the basic syntax. Ada double quote, ada scanf, ada bracket for input. Okay, next, it must be accompanied with the variable. So variable, which variable that we want user to enter the value. For example, we want user to enter the value for variable number. So put it over here. Okay, comma, and then you put number. And one more thing that differentiate between this input and output is the and symbol in front of the variable. Okay, and symbol. And symbol most of the time in C programming indicate that it is the address. Address of what? Address of this variable. Meaning that we want to store the value entered by the user inside of variable number address. You know that inside of the memory, okay, computer memory, each of the variable will be assigned to a specific address. Okay, so if you have 4 variable over here, when you declare all the variable, okay, on the top of your program, okay, inside of the main body, what it will do is the compiler will assign this to a specific address. Okay, for example, this is just an example. I don't know what's the address name. For example, it is in address 001. Okay, so this is in address 002. This is the address of 003. This is the address, okay, 004. So it will each of these variable will be assigned with specific address. So when user entered the value for this variable over here, so it will refer to this address. Okay, it will store the value inside of this address. You get me, class? You get the concept of n, why we need to put n over here. Okay, meaning that it is address for this variable. So what's the value of this address? Okay, in this case, maybe it is 001. Okay, okay, maybe n. We can check the exact actual address later on. Okay, boleh tengok value address apa. Kalau nak tengok lah. Okay, next is inside of this you must put the conversion character for number. So how do we know which conversion character to look at, to be used? Based on the types of this variable. Okay, so number is variable what type?
Integer.
Integer, kan? So what is the conversion character for integer?
%D.
%D, correct. So we put %D over here. Okay, that's it. You cannot put any other things other than %D. Okay, for example, in printf you can put number equal to %D. Not for scanf. Scanf totally cannot. You cannot put number equal to %D. This is wrong. Okay, this is wrong and don't do that. Otherwise, you will get maybe syntax or semantic error later on. So what should be over here is only %D, only the conversion character. Can you put /n? Cannot. Okay. Also cannot. It must be only conversion character. Please remember this, class. Okay. Please remember this. Otherwise, you finish your system and then you run, you didn't get the expected output the system should deliver. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright. You guys follow me kan? Do you type this coding?
Yes.
Okay, try run.
Yes.
Yes.
Try to run the program and look at the output. Okay, so by right, you will see this blink over here kan? So why it is blinking? It is waiting for the user to type something over here. Okay, so this is the effect of scanf. Okay, scanf will give a blink to your system. So what you need to do? You need to enter the value for this integer over here. Number. So enter, for example, enter 200. And 200 and hit the enter. Hit the enter ni. Apa benda ni kat keyboard ni? Okay. Okay. Enter. Okay. And then you will see that number. Okay. Earlier it is 0. So now it have a value which is 200. Ni kan? number. Now it gives the value of 200 because user entered 200 earlier. Dapat tak? Boleh guys?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Right, good. Okay, next is don't leave the scanf alone. Otherwise, if you run the system and user look at the system, your user will will wonder what should they do kan? So what should they do? So how can we assist our user class so that they know what to enter? How can we assist them? You know what the problem? Your user will not know what to do kan, what to enter. So how can we help our user? Any suggestion?
Put number equals to
So we put something we put some text so that user know what they need to do. So where can we put the text?
Above Scanf.
Yeah, atas. Okay, before scanf, correct. So help your user by providing of course there's no interface If you have interface then that one is easy so this is something like interface okay. Help your user by guiding them. How to guide them? Put a printf printf. That's why I said don't put anything over here. If you want to put any other text, okay, before user enter a particular specific value, you must put it by using printf. Okay, so ask your user to enter number. Okay, something like this that's it. This will be enough. Doesn't matter you can put any words as long as user know what to do. Okay, it is just dummy text. Okay, no variable needed. That's why I didn't put comma, I didn't put conversion character over here Tak ada kan? So this is just a dummy data. The dummy for the system but not for the user Okay, boleh? So try to build and run again. So now you see the blinking happen after the text enter number. So you as a user, you will know what to do kan? At least you know what to do. So now user enter 300. Okay. Okay, any question class?
no.
Okay, tak ada? Alright, good. So next is, okay, you want to do input for number 2. Okay. So the basic command is scanf semicolon. So what should you put inside of scanf? Okay, double quote. So that comma and the name of variable. Don't forget and symbol indicates the address. And most important is the conversion character for number 2, which is percent. Percent
F.
Percent F. Good. Okay, don't put 0.2, 0.1 slash n. No, that one is wrong. Okay. Conversion character only inside of scanf. Okay, inside of printf you can put anything that you want. Okay, scanf only percent %f, only the conversion character. Okay, please remember this. Okay, so if you put it like this, again you will get only blinking without user know what to do kan. Okay, enter number, for example 20, this is for number. And then if you hit enter, it will blink again. Okay, meaning that you need to enter something lah. So let's say we enter 2.6. Okay, 2.6. Okay, so now number 2 will have its value. Okay, 2.6. Boleh? Okay, so how to make this user friendly? Similarly, you need to put X over here. For example, number 2 lah I'm following the variable name lah. Okay, enter number. Okay, 4.6. Boleh? Boleh ya? Okay, next is we want user to enter the gender. Itu enter your gender. Again, we are going to use scanf. So scanf will read the value from keyboard. Okay, don't forget we must put double quote, comma, and the variable that we want to store company with the address symbol, semicolon. So specific conversion character for character is percent C. Try. Boleh ke tak boleh? Try. Is there any problem? Boleh ke kelas?
Tak.
Tak. Number 2, 5.6. What happened? You notice what happened? It skipped the scanf part. Kan, betul tak? Supposedly over here, enter gender, the system should blink. But it didn't. It just skipped the scanf and straight away print everything. So this is what happened to %C. You must remember this. This is something that you must remember. Otherwise, you will search for what is my mistake. I done everything correctly, but the system still do something that it's supposed not to do. Kan? So this is only for %C only. Okay, this happen only for %C only. To avoid that, you must put blank space before the %. Okay, just put blank space over there. Okay, try again. Okay, Buell.
Dapat.
Okay. Okay, now it stop kan? It stop and wait for the user to enter the value. Okay, for example, user enter M and it will print M over here. Okay, anybody face any problem? Tak ada eh?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so last is the string. Okay, string. Okay, same thing. The name. Okay, string. Don't put the space. Okay, delete the space and change this to %s. Okay, try. Lagi tak boleh?
Boleh.
Alright. Okay, try run again and enter your name with a space. For example, my name is Zafir Rizal kan. Enter Zafir Rizal. What happened? Okay, Zafir Rizal. Okay, do you notice anything? Anything pelik over here?
Yes.
Okay, scanf will detect an empty space as the end of the value. Okay, meaning that if you put something like this, there's an empty space over here. So it will detect Zafril at the end of the value. L is the end. and it won't read the rest. It won't read the rest. So that's a limitation for Scanf. Limitation for Scanf is on the part of reading a string value. So how do we solve this? Alright. Boleh faham what happened over here? It doesn't print everything. It only print the first words. So in order to solve this, this is what I need you to find out, okay, by yourself, by reading on the lecture notes on the part of getcha, putcha, gets and puts. So this is same things like scanf. However, please read this by yourself and come up with the solution. Yeah, starting with slides number 30. Sikit je ni, 30 until 36. 6 slides only. Okay, boleh?
Boleh.
Alright, boleh? So that's it. So try to solve this problem. So make sure your system can accept more than one word. Okay, for the string. Okay, finish and submit through Kalam. That's all for today. So we are going to continue with input and output operation tomorrow. Boleh
Right, sir.
Alright, so see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Salam.
Thank you, sir.